Hi everyone. Lots of people associate modern farming or homesteading with big machinery or tractor. Today we're going to talk about, though, why you may actually want to avoid that kind of an investment in your farm or small homestead. So we live in East Texas on a sandy soiled hillside that's covered in trees. So let's talk about some of those reasons that we've avoided a tractor and see if they'll help you on your farm. So reason number one, we are trying very hard to stay out of debt, and the cost of a tractor seemed pretty high to us. When we first moved here, we didn't have a lot of capital, and we did not like the idea of the tractor sitting most of the time and depreciating in value. So we opted to invest in something that would appreciate in value instead of the other way around. We also read a farming book recently. I'll link it below, but the author said that when you're young, you don't have a lot of capital to sink into an investment, but you also don't have knowledge. Whereas when you're old, you have the knowledge and not necessarily the energy, but you do have the capital. Having moved to East Texas only 7 years ago, we in too big of a hurry to start tearing into our property. As I mentioned before, we have a small acreage. It's very diverse in its topography, and there's also a creek that cuts through about the 2/3 mark of our property, making it extremely difficult to maneuver big machinery in and out. And with one of our goals being diversity, we don't want to try and plant row crops. We want to select harvest some of the mature trees that are currently on our property. We need to be able to maneuver those trees in tight spaces without compacting the soil and without getting stuck. Another reason we're avoiding a tractor is we have a small family. So we're trying to keep our farm work at a pace that is sustainable. So those three reasons, the cost, our focus on scale and diversity, and the current stage of our family are three of the reasons we avoided a tractor. The fourth, and actually the single most important, is that my husband has what he calls the horse sickness. He grew up breaking horses, putting miles on horses, really, and he has wanted to have one again for quite a number of years. So we invested in one that was only halter broke, and over the course of 3 years, he slowly trained. Uriah is his name. And he has now, in contrast to what a tractor would have done, he has now increased in value nearly tenfold since our original investment. And it's also given my husband an opportunity to fine-tune his horsemanship skills. We would like in the future to invest in a mare that would then reproduce and be capable of doing a lot of the similar things that Uriah can do. So you might be wondering, well, don't you need a tractor to haul those logs and whatnot? How do you process all of those logs? So we are not anti-machines, but we do try to avoid them simply because our expertise is not machine. We invested in a small mill that my husband also rents out to local people to use, and we process our wood that way. The horse also creates resources through his manure that we are able to use to help rebuild the topsoil in certain places. It also provides a lot of opportunities for not only our family to be around larger animals, but it's provided a plethora of opportunities for friends and family to be able to learn how to ride and be exposed to horsemanship. So who does this work for? It works for people who have a long-term vision in mind, who don't want to invest thousands and thousands of dollars up front in machinery. And it works for people who want diverse landscapes and crops. and those that are also interested in agritourism and learning to do things with the land and with their hands, which is a passion specifically of my husband's, but one of mine as well. And particularly, it's for people who have a passion for seeing the horse not become completely regulated to the entertainment sector. This is what works for us on our farm. If you also farm with horses, please let us know below because we want to follow your content. And then if you've seen horses used and or just alternate ways of farming either in the US or in other places around the world, please let us know below. We're always hoping to learn and expand what we know about farming, about farm animals, and about this way of life.